Dynamic people, modern city. This is Shenzhen. Shenzhen is the birthplace of China's economic miracle. 35 years ago, this was a fishing village. Now a metropolis of 12 million people, home of some of China's largest companies. If Shenzhen were a country, it would be among the top 40 in the world, larger than 150 countries, larger than Portugal or Pakistan.
Located along the Pearl River Delta with Hong Kong to the south, Shenzhen was the ideal place for China to experiment with the new policy of reform and opening up. It started with Deng Xiaoping, who in the late 1970s came to this village and decided this would be the home of China's first special economic zone. This was a never-before-seen test to see whether China could successfully open itself to the world and reap the rewards of development. Over 3 decades, Shenzhen became a place where innovators could come with their ideas and watch them grow into global enterprises. Today, Shenzhen remains one of the fastest-growing cities in the world.
I'm standing on Lotus Flower Mountain with Deng Xiaoping, the statue representing his famous Nanshun, his sudden visit in 1992 that revitalized China's economic reform. When President Xi Jinping became China's senior leader, he came here on his first trip. Wang Rong is the top official in Shenzhen. Trained as an expert in agriculture, he became party secretary of 2 of China's most advanced cities, Wuxi and Suzhou in Jiangsu province. Let's get closer to China with Shenzhen Party Secretary Wang Rong. Secretary Wang, there's an old saying that Rome wasn't built in a day, and yet in Shenzhen, even in one night, we see progress. How is this possible? What's so special about Shenzhen?
从3个方面，它的主要的原因来解释为什么这个城市发展得如此之快。1是改革，2是开放，3是创新。深圳经济特区是在中国最早进行改革、走市场化道路的一个城市，这是国家制度的安排。
In what ways did Shenzhen set itself apart? It opened the land market so people could have the right developed land, released the price of everyday goods so people could buy them with money instead of government coupons, and established a social security system for older people. It also encouraged people to open private science and technology businesses. Shenzhen got a special pass because all of these things were, at the time, forbidden in the rest of the country. Beginning in 1982, Shenzhen launched a national recruitment campaign. The largest recruitment effort was in Shanghai, where 10,000 people applied for 600 positions. One of them was the famous actress Zhu Xijuan.
The team was so good at recruiting, they visited me that very evening and asked if I could move to Shenzhen. They told me that at that time people in Shenzhen were watching Hong Kong channels, but the local government would like to establish a TV station. I thought that would be an interesting job.
A lot of TV and film professionals followed Zhu and helped develop the cultural identity of Shenzhen. From 1982 to 1985, in just 3 years' time, the recruitment effort led to a population boom in Shenzhen from 39,000 to nearly 200,000. That's a 500% increase. Soon it became known as a place where people could come and make a good life for themselves, and word spread fast. It's even been compared by some people to America's gold rush. Yu Guogang went to Shenzhen in 1982 after receiving a letter from a friend who was doing well there.
He said Shenzhen would be the future Chinese San Francisco and asked if I would like to move to Shenzhen. selling all my only household appliances, a tape recorder, and 14-inch black and white TV set, I got 600 RMB.
收录机卖了，把14寸的那个黑白电视机卖了，凑了600多块钱。
Which could only cover 4 members of my family's trip fees from Shanxi to Shenzhen. Then I came to Shenzhen.
往返的路费就到这儿来了，就这么来的。这一本呢，深交所这个筹备的很多的。
Yu Guogang then went on to help start the Shenzhen Stock Exchange in 1990. A stock exchange helped solidify Shenzhen's lead as a financial and technology center. In 2013, its economy maintained a GDP growth of 10.5%. To encourage foreign investment, Shenzhen developed a series of attractive policies, ranging from allowing foreign companies to come and partner with local companies to establish a partner enterprise, to reducing the complicated administrative procedures for foreign companies in China, and allowing foreign investment in public services in Shenzhen. Today, all of these special policies are common practice throughout China, but Shenzhen has long established its reputation as the high-tech and manufacturing hub of southern China. It's home to the world's 3rd busiest container port and has the 4th largest airport on the Chinese mainland. Shenzhen now has ranked first among Chinese cities in export volume for 21 consecutive years. And 191 companies on the Fortune Global 500 list have offices here.
上个世纪80年代、90年代到本世纪初，深圳经济特区一直是中国改革开放的先行地，也是中国改革开放的风向标。在过去30多年当中，在深圳经济特区创下了无数个第一，尤其在一些制度设计方面，我们总是走在前，为中国的改革开放先行先试。
Before the Shenzhen Economic Zone was unveiled, there was one area within the city that really paved the way for the area's groundbreaking change. It's known as the Shukou Industrial Zone. Yuan Geng was responsible for creating Shukou, and under the new policy of moving towards a market economy, he came up with the phrase, "Time is money, efficiency is life." It was meant to inspire people to pursue the new rewards that would come with hard work. The problem was, at that time, the concept of working for personal material happiness was new to the Chinese people.
I had asked people who visited Shukou at that time what they thought about the slogan. Everyone was taken aback and dared not to judge whether it was okay or not, because there were already some negative comments about the slogan, which claimed that Shenzhen desired both money and life. It seemed that people could not talk about money under the socialist system. Otherwise, that would be capitalism.
But a visit by Deng Xiaoping in 1984 changed that. He came to Shukou and immediately promoted the slogan. Soon, "Time is money, efficiency is life" became a catchphrase for Shenzhen. In fact, it became the most influential slogan in China.
我封闭了很多年，所以我们失去了了解世界、参与世界整个经济发展的一些好的机遇。深圳毗邻港澳，这个在上世纪80年代开放以后，我们通过大力的引进外资、引进外企、引进技术，向发达国家学习，与世界各国进行经济上的交流，这使得我们城市在短暂的时间内快速的发展。到目前为止，我们利用了外资大概将近700个亿，700亿美元，涉及到130多个国家。我们 深圳在近年来，我们也向海外、向世界各国100多个国家设立了2000多家的企业。这种向世界学习、与世界经济交流，正是推动深圳在短时间内快速发展的又一个重要因素。
Tony Belmontes is an American who came to Shenzhen in 2013. He and his partners had an idea for a lighting gadget for bicycles, so he came to create the design and get it manufactured. He's already sold more than 1,000 of the so-called Helios bars to customers worldwide. Tony says getting the work done here in Shenzhen is far more efficient and faster than in the U.S.
If I ever am missing a component, I can go downstairs and get the component, come back and get to work again. If we were prototyping in America, we often had to go on Amazon, order things, even order things from China, have them shipped to America. It takes weeks, months, and even years to build a full product like this.
Tony's is just one of thousands of stories of people who came to Shenzhen with an idea and made their dreams come to light. That's what makes Shenzhen one of the top innovative cities in the world, especially in the field of experimental electronics. The city offers a dizzying array of hardware builders who can turn any idea into a high-quality product. As a result, people from all over China and the world have come here.
世界500强的企业在深圳也投资了几百个项目，像我们华为、中信、比亚迪、腾讯这样一些由我们本土成长起来的企业，他们也在全球快速地得到发展。但难能可贵的是，我要提到第3个推动深圳发展的要素，就是创新。也就是说，深圳快速的发展也不仅仅停留在中央给予的制度创新、给予的对外的开放。我们有句口号叫“来了就是深圳人”，深圳是大家的。深圳发展到今天，是全国人民对它所做出的贡献，所以我们今天我们讲这个城市也是大家的。
Xing Qingyun relocated to Shenzhen in 1988 when he was 50 years old. After that, his 7 children followed him to pursue work in Shenzhen. Then, in 1994, all of them pooled their money together and bought a truck and established a family shareholding logistics company.
It cost us 130,000 RMB to buy a truck to deliver goods. My 2 sons started to run the business. By 1995, we already had 4 trucks.
Now Xing Qingyun's business has developed into 3 logistics companies, transporting goods by land, sea, and air. The combined annual income of the companies is in the millions. And all of Xing's 23 family members have now settled in Shenzhen. In the 1980s, 21-year-old Guo Qianzhen left her job as a nurse in Guizhou province and moved to Shenzhen. When she got her first paycheck, she was shocked.
At the time, my salary was 190 yuan per month. Add to that 200 yuan in special economic zone subsidies, I could get nearly 500 yuan, which was already much more than what I was paid before I came. The president of my company also introduced me to work as an accountant on the construction side, so I received another 500 yuan per month. In total, I earned almost 1,000 yuan per month. I felt so rich at that time.
In Shenzhen, Guo Qianzhen worked as a cashier, accountant, saleswoman, and even went to night school. Now she runs her own company.
Compared with other cities, I think Shenzhen is an egalitarian city. People like me who make a living by themselves and without any background or connections could go and settle down by working hard in Shenzhen. I do not think I can make it in the other cities.
站立下来，我就觉得这是在其他城市是做不到的。
What are some of the specific ways that the city has encouraged innovation in this remarkable development?
深圳的政府为科技的创新也做出了积极的贡献。我们推动一个良好的创新创业的环境，比如说在一些科技产业创新的初期，政府往往也进行投入，进行政策的一些支持。尤其是我们通过判断，对一些有良好前景发展的一些科技产业的一些项目，政府都会积极的推动，为他们解决他们的后顾之忧。对于深圳来讲，我们可以讲，在科技产业创新上，是在中国所有城市当中做得最好的城市之一。我老是讲这么一个故事，2年前比尔盖茨来到深圳，他曾经问我，在深圳这样一个地区，没有很好的大学，也没有更多的大学，也缺少科研机构，但为什么科技产业创新能够做到最好？我告诉他，因为我们有一个不断改革的环境，我们有一个对外开放的环境，我们利用这2个环境，通过政府服务的改善，通过社会活力的进一步激发，我们可以集聚全球的科技创新要素，来推动我们产业的更好的发展。
What are the plans to break through those barriers so that reform can continue?
The current market system is actually quite fragile and unsound. Due to the problems with our way of governing, which invites further reform, we still suffer from phenomena like embezzlement and corruption.
Reform is never easy, but at the beginning of reform in Shenzhen, reform meant eliminating barriers to doing business, mostly ideological. If you fast forward to today, society is so much more complex, and we see some negative impacts of the blistering economic growth from social imbalances, pollution, etc. In today's world, what are your biggest challenges to keep Shenzhen moving ahead?
一方面来自于改革的成功者，他们可以坐享其成了，所以说往往这部分人，也就是改革的既得利益者，他们可能缺少进一步去推动改革的动力。另一方面，通过30多年的发展，其实在社会当中形成了一个比较固有的利益结构，那么新的改革要改变这种利益结构，也碰到了很大的阻力。像你提到的环境污染、社会不公等等这样一些问题的存在，要解决它，又必须通过深化改革。这就是我们现在执政者面临的困难，有的时候也是一种两难的选择。习近平主席在党的18大以后，第一站来到深圳经济特区，再三告诫我们，必须坚定不移地走改革开放道路。
What are some of the interests that have grown up in society that that are preventing future reform? Interests that didn't exist prior but now do exist, and what are the plans to break through those barriers so that reform can continue?
政府面临着有许多应该管但没有管，管了又没有管好的很多方面，这些都有待于通过全面深化改革，让我们的体制机制更能够适应市场经济发展今天这样一个局面。由于我们一些体制机制上的问题没有 进行深化改革，所以现在贪污腐败等等这样一些现象也比较严重，这也都需要通过体制机制的改革，在制度上能够得到遏制它。当然，改革还会涉及到很多领域，像价格的改革等等，它也涉及到利益机构的调整，也涉及到有些问题能够解决，比如说刚才你提到环境保护的问题、环境污染的问题，这里有很多是因为价格体系的不合理，使得大家没有一种环境的意识，或者说对环境上所付出的代价很小，这些都涉及到我们下一步需要通过一系列的改革来使得我们的发展的问题得到解决。
Some people in other cities in China criticize Shenzhen for a lack of culture or no spiritual civilization. Maybe they're jealous because of economic growth. You yourself are a very fine amateur violinist. How important is cultural development for Shenzhen's future?
在深圳经济特区的早期啊，确实人们很担心这样一个城市啊，会不会经济发展很快，但是文化是一片沙漠。但30多年后的今天，我想我们深圳发展的实践已经回答了早期人们这种担忧。深圳现在不仅是一个经济发达的城市，也是一个文化事业相当繁荣的城市，人们分享着这种文化发展的成果。
Every November since the year 2000, Shenzhen holds a reading month to encourage locals to develop a greater fondness for reading. It's one of the most popular events in the city. Many libraries around the world hold similar events, but few received the special recognition by UNESCO, which named Shenzhen a global model for the promotion of reading in 2013. The Shenzhen Library was first proposed in 1983, but people were concerned. How would a library fit in a city where construction and manufacturing were the priority? But soon the city realized there was a need for cultural venues. The night before the Central Library opened, there was a surprising turnout.
At 12 o'clock one evening, it suddenly became noisy outside the library. I went out and saw people queued up. I asked someone what they were doing and was reminded that the next day library cards would be issued. But I still wondered why they queued up only for a library card.
The city of Shenzhen has done well to change perceptions that it's a cultural desert. Across the city center, there are a number of cultural offerings. Shenzhen has more than 3,000 artists and workers who plan and host events every year. And the unique art community attracts artists from around the world to visit, perform, and make connections with local artists.
Look into the future. If you were to see Shenzhen in the year 2020 and in the year 2050, what would it look like?
我们给自己定下奋斗的目标，就是把深圳经济特区，或者说把深圳市建成一个更加现代化、国际化的先进城市。考虑到我们现在存在的一些不足，按照中央全面深化改革的要求，我们正在提升市场化程度，推进法治化建设，加快国际化进程这3个方面，试图加快步伐，做出更大的努力。通过新一轮的全面深化改革，我们还要解决当前我们法治化程度不高这样一个现实问题，要通过在立法、执法、司法、普法等多方面，使得我们这个城市法治化程度得到很大的提升。我们还要推动更高水平的开放，使得我们深圳经济特区、深圳市和国际的接轨能力更强，引进学习更多通用的一些国际规制，营造国际化的营商环境和国际化的生活环境。我听到有人说 深圳是离世界最近距离的城市。那我想下一步我们要通过我们的努力，尤其是要通过我们新一轮的全面深化改革、对外的开放，使得我们深圳经济特区和世界没有距离，是这样一个现代化、国际化的城市。这也是我们深圳人的梦，也是我们深圳人的奋斗目标。
Shenzhen will continue to pioneer China's reform, but reform in the future cannot be the same as reform in the past. No longer is pure economic growth the touchstone of success. Reform in the future is more complex, no longer just simply removing the barriers to do business. What's important now is economic transformation, creative and innovative products, modern service industries, sustainable development, environmental protection, comfortable urban life. In short, quality of life more than quantity of goods. This is not easy. Rising expectations clash with conflicting interests. Shenzhen is becoming a world city, a leader in design and technology, finance and logistics. Shenzhen symbolizes China, its opportunities and its challenges. Watch Shenzhen to get closer to China.